Hello there, beautiful hearts. I'm Monica Bermudez. I'm an intuitive quantum energy healer, catalyst, facilitator. I wanted to share in this message about the chakras and our ascension, or provide a brief ascension report as it all ties together. So for this video, I am feeling that the guides want us to talk about the chakras for this week's love wisdom message. So first of all, welcome to the month of July. And speaking of ascension reports, the energy is super intense and is just getting even more intense. It feels like it's not just an intensity of energies, but it's also an intensity of the weather as well. And weather has been all over the place, not just temperature wise, of the heat, but also like the way the storms have been coming in, some extreme lightnings and so forth, as well as Caribbean hurricanes and so forth. And as such, you can see some of these fluctuations happening as well. There's also this intensity happening with us in our human body. And I will briefly touch into what the chakras are and cover each one, and also just share some tips as far as like navigating through these energies as well. And it's been so intense that so many people are feeling headaches, they're feeling exhausted, they're feeling all sorts of stuff. So share your comments below and let me know what you're feeling so far for this month of July and what's been happening for you with the energies as well. There's definitely going to be a lot of shifting with the power this month, and something to do with our identity, our authenticity. And so there's going to be this whole thing about the old world and the new world, and this power struggle of keeping the old world, but the new world wants to be born and born into something new structure that is more fitting for the unity consciousness that we're all heading towards, being a higher vibrational energy, being into this higher expansion energy of our ascension and who we are. So if we go over the chakras overall, the meaning of the word chakra is an actual Sanskrit word that means energy wheel. So it's a power center, and as some people will call it, psychic centers for those major components or areas in our body. So we contain major chakra points, center points within each of our human bodies, and then there's also other lower chakra points that are throughout the body that can also be found in the hands as well as the feet and in the legs and other parts not really talked about as much. But you have like what I see are like hubs of these power centers, energy, the major ones. Some people say 7 major ones. So for instance, the root chakra, which is below, close to, I would say, like below, down, close to our feet, I would say. But below our feet, there's another chakra as well that is known as the earth chakra. And then you have the root chakra above it. And so that itself, has to do with survival. And so if there's this fear of not having enough survival, or worry about, like, for instance, finances, or struggling with your livelihood, or even like with relationships and stuff, then this one will feel blocked and it will feel like it's leaking. So energetically speaking, that is. But when it is in its full form, then everything just flows with an abundance and a prosperity, and there isn't it's more solid, it's more confident. But when you go into the sacral area, which is right above as well, that one has to do more with creativity. When this one is feeling blocked, then it's very hard to step into this creative energy. And so this one definitely has a lot of the creative energies. Also has to do with the sexual organs as well. And so with that, produces some of the creative energy from that as well, which is a source of our manifestation. And if you go up further, there's also this other point is called the Hara line. And the Hara line has to do with our purpose, or is the energy charging component of our body. And then we go up again, then we have the solar plexus, which is our power center. And when we're feeling shame about something, it could feel like it could hurt, our stomach area, our digestion. And I do feel that with these energies, there's a lot of movement going on with the solar plexus as far as struggling is concerned, and struggling with our own identity and who we are, because it seems like we're almost losing our identity, our old identity of who we are, our old self, and stepping into this new self and trying to redefine ourselves and who we are. And so that could be very frightening to the solar plexus, and it could feel as though we're powerless, not knowing, this full identity of this new self. And so that's the solar plexus area. So if you go up further, and then you go into the heart chakra area, and the heart chakra is the one that I really talk about a lot in my Sacred Heart Awakenings group. And I usually start with the heart, because the heart is the hub in the center that also helps the other chakras as well. And so with the heart area, this, when there's a lot of loss and grief, this will feel very blocked, where it's just very hard to open up to others. But it is, important to know that love is very infinite, and it's pure, and it's also very healing and transformative. And so the heart chakra is consistent of the lower heart area as well as the upper heart area. And when those two come together, they form a union of an alchemical wedding, where one serves to comfort the other, where we still feel like humans, we still feel some of the energies, but we're able to just be able to work together in harmony and bringing that comfort to each other. So that is the heart area itself. And then if you go up, where we have our throat chakra, and that is the center for our divine truth and speaking our voice of authenticity. And when we feel blocks in there, it is very hard to speak our truth. And they do interconnect with the heart, because we want to speak from our own heart truth and our own authenticity. And when we have a hard time speaking those truths, it's because there's been some form of block or energy there has been holding us back, a fear from something that may have happened in this lifetime, but also from the many lifetimes before that as well. So if we had gone through some traumatic death experience that was associated with the throat, then we're likely to have, those patterns hidden inside that area that will block us from being able to speak up or speak our truth. And then if you go up and you into the third eye, it's called, that's the pineal gland in the center of the brain with pituitary, and that forms the third eye, or the psychic center as it's known. And in this area, it can also be used for projecting, visualizing, and projecting an image that you wish to manifest. So it's also known to be a manifesting type chakra area, because you're projecting your image out into the future of what it is that you're wishing to create. And then the last one, and I'm sure there's more chakras that go above the head, but these are the big major ones that I'm just highlighting for now. But then you have the crown chakra, and that one is to do with connecting with the higher source of the cosmic divine energy that is just pretty much streaming through the top of our head, and it contains our divine wisdom. It connects us to our star system and our star galaxy. And so we are, really like these walking power sources of energy, our human bodies. And we're fully capable of being even more, of bringing in even greater light. So here's the thing that's so new that not so many people know. The chakras are meant to be portals. They're vortex energies of the infinite source, and they're very multidimensional. So when they are, in its pure state, in its very healthy state, those are also the pathway into our ascension, and they are meant to work together in harmony. And when we are in this three-dimensional matrix, they feel separated and blocked, and they just are not flowing. So if you imagine a river, right? In a river, there's an obstruction that is causing to block some of the flow of the water that's coming through. Say, for instance, a rock. It's a big rock that's in the way. And say if you remove that rock itself, then the river, the water, will begin to flow in a way that it's meant to flow. And so that's exactly what's going on with the chakras. The energy flows of them working together is that when we are in pain with certain emotional trauma, if you look at it from the heart, for example, if we suffer some kind of trauma where there's been loss, there's been grief, there's been, others projecting their negative energy on us or accusing us of something that we're not, and all of that gets stored in our hearts as well. So it's a form of grief. There's a form of, guilt and shame as well, and these other chakra areas. And so with those patterns and those blocks and those limiting beliefs, and even our own, negative thought patterns as well, and so that causes the chakras to separate from each other. They're meant to work together. They're meant to flow together with the energies. And the heart itself, the heart center, is the one who brings that heart energy into each one of those points and ties them all together, connecting them, like cobwebs or the ley lines or the grid system that we also carry inside of us in the human body. So each one of those chakra points also contain their own heart center. That heart center has this pulsating heartbeat of love. That heart center connects to the major hub heart of this heart main center that I was talking about earlier when it comes together. So when this is all together into its own harmony with the heart, is what I call the sacred heart. And is that sacred heart love energy that fuels the other heart chakra areas. And for instance, like if I was talking about the solar plexus area being our power center and being our place of, also that ties into our identity, ties into our purpose as well. Without the heart energy on there, if there's a disconnect, then it's very difficult to say, challenging to work with passion and purpose, from the heart. So I was calling it heart purpose, is what I was hearing from my guides, is the message that, kind of comes in when the heart and the solar plexus come together as well, and you bring in some of that energy in there to also fuel the work and the service that you come to do here on earth. So coming from the heart, when you're serving others, when you're providing your services and what you do in your abilities with others, whether that is sharing a message with someone else or supporting them in another way, and you do it from your heart, you do this with love. And so that is what I was calling the heart purpose, and it all just stems from the sacred heart and the oneness and the whole that we are. So we are meant to live in this energy of joy, and each one of those components of the chakra areas are all interconnected through a grid system in our body. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, a grid system, think of Earth itself. Earth is a physical body by itself in what you see, this material form, and it also contains a living soul within the physical component of the earth itself. So that means that earth also has very energetic center points, also chakras, that are very similar to our chakra system in our human body. And so each one of those chakra points are interconnected by these energy lines that are called those grid systems, or ley lines are the major center heart points of connection, and they're filled with so much energy. So when all of those are in the balance, harmonious balance and realignment of the earth, then the earth will function in this fifth dimensional harmonious way. The same would apply for us in our body. And so we are interconnected. And it's such, as the law of correspondence from the Kabbalion would say, the Hermetic philosophy, which studies the universal laws of the laws of the universe. One of them is called the law of correspondence, which says that as above, so below, and as below, so above. So we are like a macrocosm or microcosm of the macrocosm, which will be like the earth itself. So we are interrelated, connected in that way. So everything is energy and everything is vibration, and we are walking energies of this huge potential of what we can do with our chakras, and what we can, the potential of them being such great portal energies of these multidimensional centers is, mind-blowing. And that's where we're all heading. That's where these energies are pushing us right now, in this ascension energy that we call ascension. Ascension is another word for expansion, and it's also another word for bringing in higher frequency of energy. So we are becoming more light body. Our cells are consuming more light in us. So we are being activated. We are being, pushed in certain ways. And I feel today in particular, today is July 2nd. There's been like huge waves of energies coming in. And I felt it right when it started, right at the beginning of July. And these waves of energies that are coming in right now are even more intense. So a lot of people are feeling headaches, are feeling exhausted. And if you're feeling this way, just take a break, get some rest, and drink lots and lots of water, because we are definitely going in for a huge ride of, events going on. And we are being pushed to really step up into our own power, to start trusting ourselves and our intuition and who we really are. And so, it can be painful at times and challenging, because there's just so much stuff that gets buried in a lot of these cells in our chakra centers, and the fields of energy that surrounds these chakras that have been there probably for a long time of the many human lifetimes that we've had, that we don't fully remember all of them. But you don't really need to remember all of them. What's important is that, that you get the support you need right now. If there's stuff coming up and you don't know where it's coming from, being emotional, waves of energy, getting headaches, feeling those ascension symptoms coming up as well. Headaches are part of an ascension symptom, because the body's trying to hold more light right now, and the body is able to hold more light. And so in order to do that, we have to release some of those other blocking, sabotaging patterns that have been there for some time. So it does, feel very intense at times. So the one thing I do recommend, and here's some tips and advice for this right now, sacred key tips for you to know as we are stepping more into this ascension. Number one is definitely keep on grounding as often as you can by going outside, connecting with nature. And number two is taking lots and lots of deep breaths, doing breath work, and that also helps with the grounding as well. And the last one that will really help get the energies to really be moving is dancing. I was feeling a lot of the dancing vibrational energy, and as a matter of fact, to help balance a lot of the earth's grid system and ley lines, there's always some form of dancing. As you would see with a lot of the native tribes, they did a lot of ceremonial dancing, because that also helped the earth's balance of the grid system, but it also helps balance our own grid system as well, in our human body. So I hope that this message has helped you to get a better understanding of the chakra systems and how it all interconnects with our human body and our internal grid system of the human body itself. And message below of what you take away from all of this message. And if you feel that you resonate with this and you really want to dig deeper into those energetic fields, reach out to me for support, because that is my specialty with my light language, that it really digs in deep with the energies and the patterns, and it cuts through the layers. It's a very unique energy code. So I look forward to connecting with you in the next Love Wisdom message. I will be posting some more videos in my Facebook group to share some other information and messages that have been coming through from my guides for another Love Wisdom message heart share. So I am sending you all so much love. Bye for now.